Hello everyone and welcome to today's special episode for Women's Day called She Balances the Books with me, your host, Geena Bharwani. We have three very special members over here with us on this very episode. We have CA Sujatha, CA Neelima and CA Rema Sharma. Welcome to the show, and it's a special Women's Day episode. So I want to kick things off with asking you a very simple question. How would you all describe your role to a 5-year-old? Because I see, for an actor, it's very easy. They'd be like, oh, I'm playing pretend. And they would explain it that way.
As you started this question of, of context of a movie, let me start with that. Say, for example, I'm a very, fan of Rajni. Okay. And I don't follow Tamil. So for me, the start would be, go to a theater in Bangalore, which plays a Tamil movie with subtitles in English. So if I have to explain this to a kid, I would say we are like subtitles who help you to understand. I may not tell him a number, balance sheet and all. So I'll tell we are something like subtitles which help you understand the things in an organization.
That's a very nice way that you put it across, Neelima ma'am. How about you, ma'am, Sujatha ma'am?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, so I tell my son, you have 5 toys with you. Your brother has got 10 toys with you, so you take care of your toys. You keep control of the numbers. If you want to exchange 2 toys to your brother, make sure that you get back 2 toys or 3 toys in return. Yeah. So this is what it's all about we do at office. So keeping track of numbers, keeping your assets in custody of yourself, and in turn exchanging for monetary or any other barter system. So this is what is all about auditor and finance. This is how I do.
Rema ma'am, how about you?
Okay. Since you specifically asked 5-year-old, my daughter is 5-year-old. And she had this myself, she had to write myself for the school for her 2nd term. So when I was dictating her, and there came a sentence where I said, my mother is a chartered accountant. So she was like, Amma, what is chartered accountant? So I'm like, what does your teacher do at school? She sits beside you, she corrects your mistake, whatever wrong things, errors you do at school, she corrects you. She is there to guide you. So Amma is like that. For certain people, we keep track what they are doing. If there are any errors, we go check on them, we correct them. So she was like, okay, so you correct big people, teachers correct small people like me, kids like me. I'm like, yeah, somewhat on similar lines.
I like the fact how your daughter mentioned you correct big people and my teacher corrects me. So the fact that she can also see companies as big and small, it's very cute. So growing up as women, as young girls, did you all ever face any sort of stereotypical thing, you all had because you're a girl? I've seen a lot of people say that, oh, you're a girl, you should leave your mark, but don't be very assertive. Whereas men have been told be assertive, otherwise you're not going to be leaving your mark anywhere. So what are your thoughts on that?
They were not open about it. They were silent, but they were passing on the message. So it was already, imbibed in our brain.
Yeah.
That we should not be assertive. We should not proactively do certain things.
Correct.
Certain things are meant only for men.
Yeah.
So that was there in our mind, I would say.
For me, in my case, I used to speak aloud, voice out my opinions. I was so stubborn in whatever I decided. But my mother always used to say, when you get into family life, this will affect you. So be little polite. Apart from that, no any other intention. But I grew up in a very liberal, though we are Tamil Brahmins, I grew up in a very liberal family. I was raised as a boy itself, I would say, or as a girl,
Or
whatever.
just equal?
Equal treatment,
Yeah, equal
yes.
treatment.
Same was the case with my sister as well. But I've heard people say when my father when we went for some functions, oh, two daughters, oh, two daughters.
Yeah.
The comments they pass. So I was determined that I should do everything a boy can. My father or mother should never feel that they never had a son. That was one point that was etched in my mind. So
And
I've
that came
always
from within?
within. When we hear these comments, no, we feel that power in ourselves. I mean, we should empower ourselves. I always had that feeling. So there was always a goal in me, and by God's will, with all the other support, it happened till date. So
Neelima ma'am?
So yeah, thank God. I think at least I also never had situations like that. Though it was not a very educated family, both my mother and father, me and my brother, two of us, they've raised us both like it was not like a boy and a girl. They just raised us like children equally. So there was some when went out of my place to do my CA. A lot of relatives came back and said, "Why are you sending girl outside?" You have these people poking. Even when the parents don't have any problem, people just said, "No, why are you sending?" Oh, I don't want my daughter to earn. She doesn't have to feed the family. That's what a lot of relatives used to say. So my father I used to say, see, they're saying. He said, "Did I say you anything? No, right? Just shallow, no, just take light, just all." Yes. So I think though both of them were not educated, they had this feel saying, yes, my children should be educated, they should be on their own. So I think a lot of that time parents, though they were not educated, the aspiration that the children should be well educated and see them in the good position, I think that's the actual education. It's not about having the degrees or what. So thanks to the family and parents, my mother especially, who has played a very, very important role in shaping what we are today.
It finally boils down to just basics of being supportive. At the end of the day, we are all human. So I would love to understand one thing as to how and what drove y'all to become charter accountants. So I've done a quick backstory of seeing how women in charter accountants started off. The first women charter accountant was in 1933. So that's way before even the independent India. So how did y'all drive yourselves to become charter accountants? Can I hear your story, Neelima ma'am?
Yes. So to start with, I think it was in my sixth class. One of my cousin, my mother's elder sister's son, he was pursuing his CA. He was a ranker. He in his P2, which was called the CA Inter that time. He was an all India ranker. I think some 12th rank, without any coaching center, and it was a self study, and he was an all India ranker. So a summer we all at least we could afford that, where all kids used to gather at the grandmother's place. So we were there and everybody was just appreciating him. Like we just said, what is this? They said, no, people have come to wish him because he was an all India ranker. And that was one moment that I just asked my mother, what is this? She said, CA is one of the toughest exam in the country, and he's cleared in an all India rank without any preparation, and that's it. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do my CA. They were all like, have you gone mad or what? Just because somebody is cleared and you cannot do. I said, no, why? I will do that. And my brother he said, yes, let she continue the legacy, let her be a chartered accountant. And that's how that inspired me. And from that day, it was like, from my 10th class or PU, anybody asked, what would you become? I think CA was the dawn, and that was deeply ingrained in my DNA.
Sujatha ma'am, I know your story is very different when it comes to CA. So would you share that across with our viewers?
Yeah, so I'm basically from science background. So I finished my BSc. While doing my BSc mathematics, so I started taking up ICAI as my parallel professional course. So after finishing my ICAI, soon after finishing my BSc degree, I wanted to do chartered accountancy course, but my parents, they wanted to get me married. So my dream did not get fulfilled. So I went to US, I came back, then I told my husband I want to do something, I want to be independent. The basic idea of doing CA is that I wanted to be a entrepreneur. So that's the basic idea of me doing chartered accountancy course. So he said, okay, if you want to do, you do. So I started my CA after my marriage. After 4 years of my marriage, then what I'm today is because of my course.
Rama ma'am, your story?
My father's brother is a chartered accountant. So we were a joint family. So till my 10th standard, we were together. So I saw him working and understood that this is a profession which is very flexible and gave a lot of independence because he was there for every family things. Whatever it may be, he'll be there for us. And my father also said there has to be a legacy. You can follow his path. It is indeed a very prestigious profession. It would be good if you can pursue. And in society also, there's so much of good name and everything. So much welfare also you can do being a professional because there is a reach to the common man. So many other things also you can do. So it is him who has inspired me. His name is Subramania Sharma. So he is my inspiration to become a chartered accountant. He is my mentor as well, I would say.
I like how, so I've been related to the CA course and the curriculum very, closely. I've seen it like upfront myself. So in a room of, say, 1,000 students, you can see 400 girls sitting over there and studying. And you can see it upfront that, people are driving themselves, and especially women are driving themselves to sit down, complete the course. And so, yeah, that's a very interesting aspect.
To add on what you said, the challenge would be the people start, but as you get up the ladder of the hierarchy, that's when, it becomes a pyramid where, the number starts coming down gradually.
Is there a particular reason as to why that happens? Because I do see this trend where, they complete their course and then after that, they get married. I know I have different a different set of people over here who have been very stern with themselves and been like, no, I'm not going to give up on my profession. So I do see that a lot of with women chartered accountants. Is there any particular reason?
So maybe this, the biological graph and career graph, both are, exclusive types, So you finish your exams and then, they look out for a marriage. Then, okay, done. Maybe you're trying, if it is a girl, generally, relocation, you change your location and you leave everything what you have built. Then again, you start your career, maybe you get your kids and then again a break. Then, okay, you settle down and then you get back. Maybe the seniors at home need you more, so maybe you stay back. So probably, both of them do not talk to each other. And very importantly, if there are families who support the women at every point of time, could be Sujata's case, Rema's case, or my case. In all our cases, husbands have been extremely cooperative. They said, you just want to do what you want, please go ahead, we are there. So I think especially the immediate family, I think all the men over there, could be your father, your brothers, your husbands, your in-laws, your uncles, your neighbors, definitely play a lot of important role in helping this. I think in the first 10 years of your career, if you are able to settle and do well, I think you're there. But that's a very, very crucial part for any woman indeed.
As rightly said by Nilima, women are always, not only in this profession, always we become victim of circumstances, I would say. Once you finish your degree, then it's a choice how you want to go about, whether marriage or taking up some professional career. Once again you get married, again it's a choice to you. So whether you want to take up your career as a priority or having kids. Once the kids are born, again there is a choice. Whether you want to pursue your career into the next level or you want to take care of your kids and put your career behind. So it's always, life is all about choices. If you look at the statistics, I would like to say something here. There are about 4 lakh chartered accountants today in India. Out of that, 25% are women, close to about 1 lakh. And in practice in particular, if you see, hardly 5 to 10% of women are in practice. So which is because of the general reason is that women find it very difficult to pursue something on their own, and setting up an office, being independent, driving a team, motivating them is quite difficult as compared to men. So it's always about choices. It's not only in this field, I think in any other field,
Do you have anything to add?
No, like she said, they both said the same kind of points, and even I second them. I concur with their views. We need a whole support system around us. Even the very fact that I am sitting here, because I get a whole lot of support from my family, my husband especially, my parents and my in-laws. Without their unstinted support and efforts, I can never reach this place, because we need to manage work, office, and many other things are happening around us. So a big support system is what is needed for a woman to come forward. That is the utmost thing she needs. All the other challenges a woman can face and she can overcome and surpass. That is 100% sure, because women also are born with the same skills as men, maybe a little bit ahead, I would say, in spite of, in relation to multitasking and all.
This, if you've seen this movie English to English, the Sridevi's movie, so there's a dialogue in that she says, I mean, to translate it in English, she says, if a man cooks, she says, oh, ek kala hai. But if a woman cooks, they say it is a duty. So I think we have been brought up in those kind of environments, and a lot of flexibility on the work front definitely adds up. So, for example, at Guru and Jana, when I was on maternity, I took a long break of an year, pre and post all together. But my partners, my team waited for me there. It was not like, okay, you have taken on maternity, would you want to come or no? So they waited for me for 1 year. So I think that flexibility in the time of when you actually need it actually matters a lot. And I think each of us are what we are. It is because of a cooperation both from the family, from the team at work, the partners at work.
Definitely. So I feel, like, correct me if I'm wrong. So the support system works both ways, just like how women support men, men should support women.
Exactly.
That's what.
I think that's where we need to, like, come up with the change in the
very
mindset
true.
that, when a man is taking up a career change, women support him.
Correct, correct.
The same thing should happen vice versa.
Yes, I am of the view that these days men are, in my generation, I can see a lot of that kind of a support, because I see my peers also. There are a lot of ladies coming up. At the branch also, many women turn around are there. So with the support of the men, and like she said, from the organization, that is also very important. I also should thank them and mention them here as well, because without their support, it's not easy to hold a post, because when you are in a post, you need to be in that particular office for that whole year. I'm sure Sujatha will also agree to me, because she is also at the helm of a association right now.
Yeah, for men, I would say it is this and that.
Correct.
Okay. Once when they come out of their college, it's about work and only work. Correct. Whereas for women, it's a choice, either work or marriage. Once when they come to marriage, work plus marriage for them.
Yeah.
Career plus marriage. And I personally feel once you get married, it's like, cricket. When one person is hitting sixes, necessarily other person has to wait for his turn to come. Both cannot hit sixes. Okay. So when husband is doing good in his career, when it is peak of his career, women may have to take up some lighter jobs. Same way it's true for husband also, men also. Allow her to grow in her career. You take something light so that she also gets the satisfaction of fulfilling her dreams. So that's what happens in my case.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful. Like, the way you all mentioned that it works both ways, the support system. And I like the fact that you drew parallels to a cricket. So it's easier for men to understand that way. One question is where I would want to ask you all, as women, do we find ourselves always finding the need to justify our actions for any decision that we make, whether it's at a personal level or a professional level? Do we always find the need that we have to justify it?
Yeah, it's more about internal discipline, I would say, because whatever decisions or whatever actions you do, either it has to result in some good output, good outcome. You can't just waste your time, or you can't waste your resources just because you have the financial independence, just because you have your own, whims and fancies at your hand. You can't do that. So justification in the sense, you don't have to justify to the society, but you have to justify yourself. Ultimately you are accountable to yourself. So when I have to expand it to the first level, when you are heading an organization, you are accountable to your team. You are accountable to your juniors.
See, when we take a decision and the output comes well, yes, it's all applause, success stories, happiness around. Somewhere something goes wrong. That is when we are made accountable for so many other things which we cannot control. Maybe due to some other factors it came out as a failure. I can explain this is the most silliest thing. When we go out somewhere, my husband will ask me, which route you would prefer? I would say a route. And unfortunately, on that day, that route will have the heaviest traffic. Because locally, we never use the maps. So we never know what the traffic is. So then I should take the responsibility that we reach that place not on time. So if something goes wrong, yes, we have to list down why. Otherwise, I don't think we, as being women, we should justify to what we are doing.
Neelima ma'am, what's your opinion on the aspect of where women have to hold themselves accountable?
So, in my opinion, I think with respect to decisions, it's not necessary women. I think it's applicable to any gender as well. And as my teacher Mahatriya says, he says, a decision can never be right. So, what he means is you take a decision and make it right. Say, for example, when it comes to my own example, in Guru and Jana, I have been in audit for 13, 14 years. And after that, I shifted my career to this technology solutions. So it was across a coffee table where when me and Guru spoke in one of the coffee tables, he said, why don't you get into this practice? And I just said yes. So it was just, the conviction because Guru believes in me and I believe in Guru. Yeah. So he just said yes and just moved on. But when I came back home, people at home, I said like something like this has happened. So they just asked me, oh, 14 years of career. So you're just shifting it from, audit to tech. I said when I started audit, I never knew. I joined my articleship and that's how it went. I never knew it was right or wrong. So when I just shift my career to here, let's take the challenge. Let's prove it right. Assume it doesn't work well. It's a calculated risk. I have my own organization. Something doesn't work. I'll shift back to my practice and I have my partners. And see, in a marriage, I've come from a extremely new, to a new family. I don't know who's what. I don't even know who's my husband when I got married to him. But still things went well. At least here I know my partners, I have my team who would support me if something doesn't, something doesn't go well. So I think we have to just move on, take decisions and try to make them right or learn from those and then, move on.
That's a very nice way that, your teacher had also mentioned, like, take a decision and then you make it right, or make a choice and then you make it right. Every year we have a new theme for International Women's Day. This year the theme is like, counter in, accelerate progress and, empower her. What is your thought on the theme for this year?
See, investing in a woman is like investing for a family as such. So when a family is empowered, the community gets empowered, thereby resulting in economic development as such, I would say. Because woman is the fulcrum of the house. She can do a lot of things. If I would say most of the women are empowered these days, but there are certain parts in the country or in the world as such wherein the space has to be brought in. So there is slow progress is there, but the pace we have to build it up. So for that, inclusion of women in everything is indeed, a very big factor for economic development, I would say.
What are your thoughts, ma'am? Sujatha, ma'am?
Yeah, count her in, right? So as a woman, if we really want to contribute for the society, I would say we should have a goal. There should be a goal, there should be a process, there should be a target to achieve anything in life, right? Correct. Whereas for women, from childhood, it's always an option. Like if you want to study this, yes. If you want to do something else like, dance, music, yes, you are free to pursue. Whereas as we grow, once when we do some professional course, that acts as a hindrance, I would say. At that point of time, if you want to lead up, like if you want to become an leader in any big organization or you want to lead a social organization, the success is measured by the growth. Correct. And in terms of, since we are all finance professional, in monetary terms, like target, they call it. So when something is set, we struggle. So I am strongly of the opinion that from childhood, women should be allowed to set goals, follow some process and achieve what they like. We have to be like real social leaders, we have to be real organizational leaders, we have to contribute at the best to the society. For that, definitely there should be a goal and process in place.
How about you, ma'am?
So when a person has to stand, obviously somebody cannot stand on one leg. Both legs are very important. So taking the way from where we were, say, I remember reading somewhere in the early 1900s, women were not even allowed to vote. And even in an Indian scenario, people getting studying, going out of your house for higher studies, going out of country, working, it was never there. I think of late in the recent, at least couple of decades, things have changed a lot. So there has been definitely an change on this front. So I somewhere read saying if we have to change on this front, it would take another 110 years to get this gender parity at this pace what we have actually going on. But yeah, the current generation girls are smart, the boys are equally smart. So count her in, yes, it is there, but just counting her in would not or doing an economic thing would not suffice. A lot of, I can say, the surroundings, your immediate support has to be, it's an outlook, not necessary women, men, women, the institutions of society, everywhere. So I think it's an overall change where this one woman can be really shaped and reshaped.
You all have also had your fair share of corporate experiences before getting into practice, right? So, did you all ever face any such issue where, just because you're a woman, that you were not, didn't want to get employed in a particular place, or the person employing you asked you like silly questions? Do you all have any such experience?
So I had one experience before I joined Guru Engine. I was just when I relocated to Bangalore after marriage, I was just trying to wait to join. So somebody had referred to join a MNC firm. I was not interested, but because somebody had referred it, I just went for the interview. And one of the very first questions the HR asked me, how comfortable are you to, continue the job, because it is an MNC, you will have a lot of pressure, the timing constraint, and you're married, and how do you take a call at 9 o'clock and all. So I just said, excuse me. I said, I'm not taking your job, first of all. And he said, why? I asked, why are you asking this question? He said, couple of our top partners are not married. I said, that's their problem. Yeah. So you don't have to, sacrifice. See, when we talk about balance, it's not a 50-50 always. It could be 60-40, it could be 70-30. It's not necessary 50-50. So I said, yes, I may not attend a midnight cocktail party like the other partners, but I do my work. I can, take care of the team. I can deliver well. I can share my thoughts. I can participate in the vision. I can do a lot of other things. So, and I just walked out of the interview saying thank you. And thanks to that, I'm in, because of that, I'm in Guru and Jana. And so, yes, I'm sure both of you would have had some instances, or at least heard of it, something in your lifetime.
Yeah, see, when I wanted to start my office, so the first thing my landlord, he said, oh, you're a lady, it's okay, you take this place, let me see how many years you're running. Okay, he was not very confident. So I was there for about 5 years in that place. Then he volunteered to offer another building, bigger place than that. Okay, so I would call that's the success. That's my success. And I moved on to the next building, which was much bigger than that. So
I worked only for a very few months with a corporate, but I indeed had good experience in the whole finance department. I was the only woman member in that whole department. I had a pleasant experience, but since I felt the job was very monotonous, I switched to practice because that is much more interesting. But there are instances, those are not insults, I would say. Random walk-in clients will be coming to our office, and when my sir is not there, they may come to meet me, and they were like, oh, you are a chartered accountant. I looked much younger back then in 2011 or 12. So, you are a chartered accountant. Oh, you know these kind of questions. If I ask you, will you be able to give me a proper answer? Yes, indeed, I'm qualified. So, you can ask me, it's fine. Oh, okay. So, then they'll ask me. And once they see my response, they'll feel like, okay, yes, this girl is indeed a chartered accountant, I guess. And then they'll start the conversation slowly. But the initial hesitations has been there for certain people when they walked in and could not find the male person they were searching for. Yeah. So, but these are all experiences, I would say.
And I'm sure they must be going out of your cabin and, cross-checking with somebody outside saying, is she a partner, or, how long she's been here and all.
Yeah.
All this investigation happens.
Because for chartered accountants, I don't know whether you have heard, qualified chartered accountant, people will say. I don't know why they add qualified in front of a chartered accountant. When I say that I am a chartered accountant, why they stress that whether I'm qualified? Indeed, I'm a chartered accountant. But that runs around always.
When we were talking earlier about how women have to be included everywhere, there was a scenario, especially in the corporate culture. There was a scenario which I faced, and I wouldn't want to name the firm or the company, and where a male colleague of mine, he would not take instructions from any women in power. Like even if the head of the department was she was calling the shots, but he would be like, no, and she would have to explain it to like a team leader who was a guy, and then he would listen to him. So have you all faced such scenarios in your workplace where your team members are like unable to like listen to you or something like that?
Like I said before, we have clients, we have customers who come for various clarifications and consultancies. They'll come to my cabin initially and they'll get the queries clarified. I give them proper answers. They take it down. They ask again and again. I very patiently explain to them. And then at times I see that then they go down again and meet our senior partner and ask these questions once again.
It's the same thing.
Yes, same thing again. I would be accidentally going there for something else or meeting someone else, and I see him sitting there with the same question and papers. Amazes me actually.
Yeah.
So these reconfirmations from another male, that happens at times, not very often, but there are people, like you say, there are people. So that is there. I don't know how to rule it out. Maybe
I think over time
the grooming at home from the mother can help. To solve
and the
these sort of
father as well.
issues.
How about you, Sujatha? Ma'am?
Yeah, see, as a women leader, we can always bring out a lot of empathy and mentoring to juniors, and we are extremely good at connecting with people. That emotional bond is created once you see a woman as a top of the But only thing is that they look at you as a teacher or they look at you as a professor. So it's my personal opinion. They always have the doubt inside them saying whether their growth will happen or their vision will be fulfilled through this lady. So that doubt is always there at the back of the mind.
How about you, Neelima ma'am?
So yeah, I agree with Sujatha as well. So women are basically very adoptive, they're very empathetic and very adoptive. You can actually tune your tone according to the situation, and that's an ingrained ability of a woman indeed. So I have not faced a situation like that. I think they can be more empathetic and adoptive in any situation.
There's a question which I have, which I would want to ask y'all, given that y'all have been earning since the last quite a long time, given that y'all are at a higher position also right now in your own respective fields. Do y'all ever find this parity where there is a sense of egoism in in men when women are earning, but ideally if you look at it, it's just much easier to run a family or run your daily households if you have two sources of income. But do you face this? Have you ever faced this issue, or have you heard of it? Or I would just like to know your thoughts about it.
My mother was earning, but generally she is submissive by nature. She goes to what Appa says. She says okay. She goes along with it. But at the same time, my grandmother, who doesn't earn, has her own opinions and views for each and everything. So it's the character in you. I mean, that's what I firmly believe. Even if you earn or don't earn, you need to say or voice out your opinion. That is how we should raise women. But indeed, financial independence will definitely give an upper hand. And like you said initially in the question itself, a single engine is difficult, but a double engine is always comfortable.
How about your thoughts, ma'am?
Yeah, see, the financial independence need not come from earning. You can always be a contributor for the cost. Okay, it's like in the sense, if you can cut down your cost, even if you are not earning, even if you are not a working woman, but still, if you can take care of your home with minimal or at the optimum level, I think that itself is taken care for the family savings. So if I have to say, sitting at home, being a homemaker, if you can assist your husband where all he can invest, what is the right time to invest in real estate. Many have succeeded, far, far, far ahead than their peers who have gone for work and earned more. Okay, so I don't agree to the point that only if you earn, you become financially independent and you grow your wealth. No, even by cutting down cost and putting your investment at the right place, there is a equal opportunity. In fact, there is a more time you spend in investing in your money, it grows faster. So that's my take on that.
Yours, Neelima ma'am?
So yeah, it's a mixed answer. It's both ways. One, the women directly earning, or maybe helping the, say, if assume the husband is extremely busy, he doesn't have time for the home at home. Somebody has to be there. It's not necessary always the lady has to do that.
It works vice versa.
Vice versa as well. But yes, if assuming the lady is at home and taking care of the family and the man is extremely busy, no problem. Take care of the finance, run home well. Alternatively, so one of my friends used to say in a language, so he used to say, if both of them work, you can go to a theater. If one works, sit at home and watch on the TV. That's what he used to say before all this OTT and all came. That's what he used to say so when his mother asked, why do you want a working woman, so he said, I want to watch a movie in a theater and I would marry a lady who works. So there are different ways of perceptions both ways, but yes, I think it's like where you add this cold water into your hot water to just make it a warm water, and that's when things keep happening. So it's always an addition, and it's just not money. She gets in a lot of external knowledge to the family, to the kids, and it makes a lot of difference. She can, along with money, she also gets a lot of exposure, the grit, the confidence, what she can share it to her family and the kids at home.
That's nice. As a woman chartered accountant, do you see yourselves like in a role where you can use your power right now, the stage that you'll have reached, to mentor other women and bring them up to open up, and in terms of providing job opportunities, in terms of just in general empowering them to come back to work also, because like we mentioned earlier. So how do you all use your profile to the best of it?
See, at our office, since you are also from the CA background, I'm sure you'll understand this easily. We have this internship training which we give to students, which was for 3 years initially, but from now on it's for 2 years. So like when we discussed before also, we spoke this area. Once the articleship is completed, they give 1 or 2 attempts, and if it doesn't work, they get married. Not even job, they may get married. So whenever parents come with the girls while joining, so the one piece of advice I give the parents as well as the kids, finish your course, get a job, earn well, be financially independent, and then think about marriage. Marriage can wait. There's no age for marriage these years. So focus on your profession. Mark your presence somewhere in the society. You have so much of potential in you. So my only request to the parents also, please don't hurry with the marriage proposals for the girl. Let them study. Give them their own time. And CA course is not like any other course. After 2 years, you don't get the certificate. There is a lot of perseverance in CA course. So this is the one piece of advice which I give all the parents who come while joining time. And also the girls when they leave, don't prioritize marriage. It has to be a part of your life, I totally agree, but you have that time. Now it is the time to focus on your career, your work, and then think about marriage.
I'm so happy and and completely out of joy that you use your position to promote that. How about you, Sujatha ma'am?
I beg to differ from what she says because I tell them prioritize your marriage. Once when you come to certain age, I think you have to respect your parents' words and get married. Marriage can't wait. Okay. Whereas studies, you can any point of time you can do. Now that you have online courses, and if you have the will, definitely you can pursue
I think
anything.
going by your experience.
I show my real life as my experience. So I started my CA after marriage, and with 2 kids I completed my CA final.
I like how there are 2 different thought processes and different perspectives basically.
Correct, exactly.
There's nothing right or
Exactly.
wrong.
There's nothing
There is
right or wrong.
right or
True,
wrong.
true,
It's all
true. Yeah.
about life. Is all about choices.
Because
Yeah.
in
Experience.
today's world is so competitive, unlike 2009 is 2024. Even the maternity break can affect your career. That is there everywhere around. That scenario has slightly changed, I would say.
Exactly.
Sujatha
See,
ma'am.
for my age, I'm behind by 15 years. Yes. Okay. Whereas my like somebody is like 45 years, they would have they have at least about 20 to 25 years of experience. Whereas my 10 years of experience is gone. I don't regret. Of course, I have invested time for my family, and that gives me happiness.
At the end of the day, it's like finally what brings you happiness.
Correct.
Exactly.
One example which I would like to state here is my mother is a as an engineer. She was in the College of Trivandrum, College of Engineering Trivandrum in the 1986 batch, which was a rarity back then. But she chose to be at home with us. She got job offer at Bangalore. She wrote tests at our electricity board in Kerala and ISRO tests also. She did not give the second chance because she conceived me. But had she given priority to the profession, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'm not sure, because she was a mentor in my initial days with my studies like she did. So that base which I got was like perfect. She sacrificed her profession for me. She is very happy about it, like she said, very happy about it. But there are setbacks.
At the end of the day, like how we mentioned earlier also during our conversations, for women, it's always a choice. You have to make a choice of this or that.
Make or
and
break
it's
it
also, no perspective is right. It's like, to each is their own.
It's on a case-to-case basis,
Yeah.
I would say.
What are your thoughts on this, Neelima
So in
ma'am?
terms of empowerment, like for any CA, there'll be like, articleship and then, post qualification and then the career graph. So with respect to the entrance of the articleship, we have a very good number. So we have a 50-50 ratio for the numbers. And after the people pass out, we also talk to them, what's their plan, what's the career plan, would you like to continue with us and all. So there'll be some cases somebody would say, I would like to get married. We say, okay, get married, but we can try and give you a work from home option. Would you, do that? So we had a star in one of the teams who had got married to an army officer in Kashmir. So she's a very good resource, very good member. So we said, okay, you work from there. She worked for 2 years and the husband had to got a transfer back to Bangalore and she's back to us now. So, the 2 years of, it was good for both of us. So, she was also with us. We knew her. She knows us. And, if these kind of people continue, these are the pillars of the organization. Because we are with them when they need us. And when we need them, they are with us. So, and we have a team which takes care of the US outsourcing accounting, a team of 70 people, led by a lady who's married, who started in a junior role in the organization. She heads this team. So it's like you just challenge them. Sometimes even we as women don't know what we are capable of. When we actually challenge them, the best of it,
I think we don't push ourselves enough.
Exactly. So as my teacher Matria says, it's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. See, we have an iPhone. How many of us use it properly? Not just a phone, not just a SMS, not just a WhatsApp. There's a lot to do. So if a phone can do so much, what each of us can actually do as individual potential. So it's just keep challenging and keep moving. So we encourage all these girls who come and stay with us, do those flexible, because I personally was one of them who also experienced this flexible benefit and come a long way. So same applies to all the members in the organization.
Yeah, I think, as rightly said, everyone's perspective on life is very different. Even for a man, I would say there's no gender biasness in this perspectiveness, right? Where even I know quite a few people up front and up close that they and they are men and they take the extra step to also be as equally involved in bringing up their children. True. And as equally involved in completing the house chores, everything. Exactly. So it's just it's just a matter of perspective and a time, and like we keep saying that you have to increase our pace and understanding and bringing that
to the desired level for the
exactly
society.
Yeah. I have one more question which I would want to ask you all. When it comes to the chartered accountancy course or the institute or ICAI as such, what are they doing in terms of empowering women to be on, like, at leadership roles and all of it?
Being in practice itself is a very difficult thing. So for us chartered accountants, we have some continuous education requirements as mandated by our institute. So if we don't comply with that, we are not in a position to practice or sign the papers. So for women who are in maternity, there is a concession for this particular thing. For 6 or 7 months, we need not comply with this continuous education process. We have this liberty to be at home. And for women also, we have a committee led by women, and also men are there, young member and women empowerment committee, which provides us various options. We have a portal as such now in the ICAI for as a flexi women's working portal. Like she said, if I am a qualified person, I can sit at home and I'm ready to work. I just have to feed and register my details, and I can give my priority as well, which area I want to work into. And there are many employers who get our resumes and get to us, and we get an opportunity to be at home, take care of the kids, do the household chores, and also work and earn at the same time. And though they are baby steps towards our career goals, indeed we get an opportunity. So that is indeed a very appreciable act. We have some women member also at the helm right now. So many steps are initiated by ICA which are much appreciable.
Yeah, so they are like the institute itself or the main governing body itself is seeing y'all as equals rather than. Indeed. Yeah. I think it all starts from the top.
See, institute has WEC committee and we also have women empowerment committee. The thing is that I feel the women should come forward and take some initiative in connecting with other members. Today, networking is order of the day. Unless and until you network with other women or anybody for that matter, it's very difficult to grow in a professional way. So what I would urge all women members here is that they have to be proactive and collaborate with other women. For that matter, I have a branch in Chennai.
So just want to conclude things over here. Given that y'all are at this stature in your life or at this place in your life, what do y'all want to do going forward for women and also just in general in your careers and in your path?
I want to take up more leadership roles and I want to create future for my team, because they look up to me as a leader. So it's duty for me to grow into bigger numbers and explore new areas and set my footprint in the path that I have taken. So correct. I have to be more focused. And one more thing what I would like to add here is that I was very much inspired by many leaders and entrepreneurs in India, the way how they are uplifting the socially backward rural area graduates to to come up in their life. So I have also contributed in a smaller way, probably around I would have produced more than 10 chartered accountants. Oh, that's nice. And in my 15 years of my career, and most of them who are working from my office are from economically backward and from rural areas. Okay. So I think in that way I definitely want to expand my goals and contribute a lot for the society.
Nice. How about you, ma'am?
Yes, somewhere we have similar thoughts, I would say. So being at the helm of the branch now, I am taking charge as a third women chairperson of the branch. Okay. So we have around 900 to 900 members. So I have to do something different for the branch, and that too in a very futuristic way to take it forward, which assures benefit for the members professionally as well as personally also, I would say. Yeah. And being at the helm, being a woman, I would want more girls and women to come forward into the course and also in the profession who are behind the scenes working a lot but are not coming in front and earning their names, to come forward and prove that they are also able, they can also do it. I am just a woman like them. Yeah. With the support system they have around, they should also come forward and mark their presence. Leave a mark wherever you go. Being a woman, never ever restrict your goals. Have your determination. Have your own dreams. give them wings, make them happen. That is what I always want to say to all the women out there. Even to my mother at this age, I tell her, if you have any unfulfilled dreams, please go and do it. Please fulfill them. Life is too short. Do whatever you want. I'll do the best I can. And that way, the smaller things which we do for our family also matters. So that's it. This is what I want to tell everybody around.
She's getting sworn as a chairman this month end.
Yeah. Congratulations on
Thank
that,
you so
ma'am.
much. Thank you so much.
It's so nice to have, like, people who are at such high positions, and I'm able to interview y'all, and so that I can also put this across and we can also shine light and empower more women going ahead. And how about you, Neelima ma'am? What is your...
So with great power comes great responsibility. So I think, yes, it's equally important to keep up the responsibility what is there on us. And at an organization trend right now, I can say at least we as the top management, we are 3 women partners out of 12. So that's a good number, and we are very keen on, getting more
Partners who-
women
women
partners and women leaders into the organization. And that adds a lot of diversity. Everything changes. The meeting context changes, the way how you perceive. When there are men give a different perspective, we put off, just say, no, I think we can look at this way also. So there is definitely that color, the music, what gets added when there are women in the team, be it at whichever level they are. And yes, as we grow, it is still more important to get that the music into the life and the every decision what happens at an organization level. And we have a trust which takes care of the kids education. So we have adopted a school where we sponsor education to close to 30-40 girl children exclusively. It's a girl school. We sponsor them education. And yes, so these are the bright girls who actually are the budding future leaders. So that's what we give to the society from an organization level. And from the organization level, we keep eyeing these, the stars who are there, and we keep talking to them, talking to their families. And yes, at the end of the day, if a woman has to do, it's all the great men who support there in the family, in the work. So hats off to all these great men who have this silent, who have been celebrating silently. So it calls out to
We
all
need
these-
more such people.
Exactly. So hats off to all these great men and women as well who have been a reason behind shaping up. So as the age old saying says, behind every man there is a woman. Equally behind every woman there are so many men, not just one man. And yes, I'm sure we are walking and we see those signs of success or the results, and
The green flags.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would all just kick start and just take off like that.
All right. Thank you so much for this conversation. It was lovely having you at this roundtable. And thank you once again for taking out the time and, setting time aside, going through all these conversations with us. And thank you so much. And I hope all the viewers out there, you'll enjoy taking little aspects, whether you're from the CA fraternity or not. Because at the end of the day, whether man, woman, or any other gender of that matter of fact, we are all human. Thank you very much.